I suggested couples therapy, but she isn't comfortable talking to strangers about her personal life. So I started listening to relationship podcasts to try and figure out what is going wrong. And that is how I found you both.
Good for you, dude. Not many men.
No.
Usually, honestly, I like this because already it's like usually the woman is the one.
Yep, writing in, trying to do all this stuff.
Trying to do the communication stuff, and he's on it. You go, boy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, I'm MJ.
And I'm Bree.
Welcome to Keeping It Casual,
A sex-positive dating and relationship advice podcast.
Yes, I'm married with 2 kids.
And I'm navigating this crazy dating world.
We're just here to share our drama.
And the wild stories of our listeners.
Your Vegas girls are here for you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So there's been an upgrade to the Keeping It Casual podcast studios.
Yes.
We have a misting fan.
Yes, we do. So we're able to record in the middle of a excessive heat warning heat wave.
That's right. It's about 100.
Outside.
We're going to do the weather, guys. It's 115 out right now.
Fucking hell.
And it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and we are under a misting fan. So
And I'm drinking iced coffee.
I'm having some lit as fuck pre-workout.
Yeah, she's having pre-workout. She's
I'm doing my workout after this.
She's like, do you want pre-workout? And I was like, no, I want to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I know. Pre-workout at 3:30 in the afternoon. What was I thinking? We always got to get amped in some way, right?
We'll figure it out. Yes, we do.
Powering through the heat wave here.
Oh, it's a heat wave. Okay.
Have you been since last week?
I mean, I'm still angry.
Thanks for sitting through that vent session with us, you guys. You know, we can all be a little salty and a little sweet.
You know
salty
what?
sometimes.
Actually, I described myself as a Sour Patch Kid the other day. First I'm sour, then I'm sweet, and then I could go back to sour again.
Yeah.
So
You know what's funny? You always say that Vivian reminds you of you when you were a kid. And
Yeah.
that's what her first preschool teacher told me about her.
Vivian is me when I was a kid. Hopefully she gets her shit together a little bit more than I do, but
She's got the tude, but that's okay. I wonder where she gets it from. Probably her mother.
it's true. I can't say it comes from me because it just, it was there beforehand.
You recognize that when you met her. You're like, oh, game recognizes.
I was like, what's up, girl? I like you. So I've still been like, I'm trying to check myself a little bit more, but I'm still pretty like, bleh.
That's okay. We are checking ourselves. We became aware of things that were getting out of control. And sometimes when you're like feeling icky about a way you're acting and you just say it out loud, you take the power away from it. And you're like, all right, I owned it. It was just like me like grabbing Chris and being like, I'm such a bitch. If he was to call me that, it would be a huge fight. But for me to just own it and say, okay, it made me feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
And I loved hearing him say, well, I was a fucking asshole. And I was like, that's good. Because when I call him that, he don't want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. So this week, we kind of got called out. And we got an advice email, and we got called out. So we're going to talk to you this week about love languages, y'all. But first off, I want to say, what's up, like a kitten?
I know. Our ladies over there are doing big things. Not just their sexy, sensual subscription boxes that come out seasonally, but
they have something big that they're going to be announcing soon. And we are so excited, but we can't tell you.
Well, what the cool thing is they're like, we're going to give it to you first, and you kind of, give it to your listeners and let them see how they like it, and then we're going to do the big launch. So thank you, Like a Kitten, for letting us be part of your massive giveaway.
Yes, and
you want this, ladies.
Yes, we still can't tell you anything.
But you can get in on the giveaway. All you have to do is rate and review at Apple Podcasts right now.
Yes, and you can go to likeakitten.com and use code KEEPERS20 at checkout. But more about that later.
Yes.
So we got called out, MJ.
Tell me more.
I'm going to tell you, and you'll understand where we get called out.
All right.
MJ and Bree, I am a 35-year-old man, and I have been with my wife for the past 15 years.
Hello, sir.
20 years old.
Wow. Yeah, that's a young relationship. Okay.
Yeah. We have been having some issues for a few years now. After 15 years, 1 marriage, and 3 children,
Yeah,
it has been rough to find connection with each other.
Sounds right. It's all good. Keep going.
I suggested couples therapy, but she isn't comfortable talking to strangers about her personal life. So I started listening to relationship podcasts to try and figure out what is going wrong. And that is how I found you both.
Wow. Good for you, dude. Not many men.
No.
Usually, honestly, I like this because already it's like usually the woman is the one.
Yep, writing in, trying to do all this stuff.
Trying to do the communication stuff, and he's on it. You go, boy.
You go, boy. I really enjoy driving to work on Wednesday mornings and having you two tell me what all men, myself included, are doing wrong. Yes, I've been working through all of this because I'm essential. I found with the sex personality type episode, I was able to listen with my wife and we figured out what was going wrong in the bedroom. You ladies have talked about love languages a lot, but you never go into detail other than what your love languages are. That's where he called us out. Oops.
It's true.
So I started reading up on them, and I think mine is quality time, were my wife's gifts. I'm happy to know that these things, but I am at a loss. What are some way we can speak to each other's love languages?
Yes, I love it. Well, okay, Bree told me straight up. She's like, I got an email for us. We need to brush up on details for our love languages. So
I did. I was like, bitch, we got called out.
It's actually very rare that you and your partner are going to speak the same love language, so it may cross over a bit, but if you zone in on what they need, then maybe you'll be able to express your needs to them in a new way.
We didn't want to do an episode about what the love languages are. Instead, we want to share how you can figure out how to speak to their needs and understand what things to avoid or what may be causing tension that you are unaware of.
So there might be certain things about your partner that are totally annoying, but it could be a key to understanding their love language. So that can help you switch your perspective on some of their behaviors and gain more understanding in your relationship. So he's quality time and she's gifts. I think that was where we both were like, gifts. We just didn't understand, but I have such a more understanding, and I thought it was something completely different.
I did too.
I thought it was like gold diggers or people that like material things all the time, but it's not even that. It's actually really interesting.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Should we start with that one?
No, we'll end with that one.
You want
that
to
way
end with
it's
that
fresh
one?
in his mind. Kick it off with mine.
Okay.
Physical touch.
Let's do it. me first.
Me first. Don't think it's all about sexual touch. Just because their love language is touch doesn't mean they want all the PDA in the world. And I will get into this. So mine is physical touch.
Right.
That's my love language.
Right.
I talk to you guys about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like PDA. I like a hand hold, maybe a little secret butt squeeze that nobody notices.
Okay.
To be full on like making out and like hugging be all up on each other, I hate that shit.
Okay, so that's good to know because I'm learning a lot of little things because when we were discussing this, Bree was like, but I don't like PDA. I was like, really? I was like, I love a good slap on the ass in the grocery store, just
nope.
kisses. I'm all about that, and you would think somebody who enjoys physical touch would like that, but you're right. It's not all about sexual advances. It's not all about PDA. It's mostly about connecting through touch and some
massage,
little simple thing. Holding, I love to hold hands while we're driving in the car.
Massage is a big one. Them initiating intimacy instead of me always initiating it is a big one.
Yeah, definitely. Hugs. Oh, you can never do enough hugs.
I love a good hug.
I love a good hug while I'm washing dishes. Just come up behind me and give me a big hug.
You guys, Chris came home and he gave MJ a kiss and he was like, hey, do you need one too? And he looked right at me and I was like, don't at me, bro. Don't at me. I was like, I kind of do, actually, but I'm not going to kiss you.
He's like, kisses. Anybody need kisses?
He was. He set up a kissing booth. I was like, damn. I got to pay you $1?
I love it.
But non-sexual touch that reminds your partner of your presence is really what we who love physical touch are looking for. Now, what are some things to avoid?
Just viewing them as purely a sexual being, like you're like, oh, they like physical touch, so I'm just gonna like,
they want to fuck all the time.
Yeah, like every touch is a gateway to sex. No, all those little in between touches and sweet stuff.
I will definitely say this: you want to avoid long periods without intimacy, because if you're anything like me and you've had long periods without intimacy, you're like, yeah, actually, I will kiss you, friend's husband.
Don't tip me, okay?
Don't tip me.
That's great.
And avoid waiting for your partner to express their desire for physical affection. I don't want to have to talk about it.
Yeah, that that's her main love language. Then you need to just grab the feet, start doing some foot massage or something.
If they like foot massages.
If they just got a pedicure and they're feeling confident about it,
Yeah. Let's go into your love language then.
Okay, mine, acts of service. I like pointing out like little annoying traits. Like I can be kind of a control freak. I can be a very like busybody. It's hard for me to sit down and relax.
Yeah.
Because I'm always doing something. I'm always like, oh God, I gotta do this and this and this and this and this. So anytime Chris can take something off my plate, it just makes my day. That's how you speak to my love language.
So with acts of service, I would say taking initiative is huge.
Absolutely.
So you want to like look at your partner and observe what tests might stress them out. Like what stresses you out that you're like, Chris actually should do this.
Like for me, like I can do all the detail things. He'll look at the house, he'll like, whoa, we just got to like vacuum and wash the floors. It's like, oh no, you have to do this and this and
we have to scrub the walls.
There's all kinds of things
Here's
that
a
need to be done.
toothbrush.
Yeah. You take the biggest, most simplest thing and please just do that, because because I don't need to micromanage you on all the other little things.
So what would be a way to speak to this type of love language then?
I think, like you said, just taking the initiative and like, you know, maybe she's had a rough day. Okay, maybe she's like me and she's had a rough day and she's like, oh, I gotta come home and I gotta cook and I gotta do all this stuff. Maybe just being like, hey babe, I'm cooking dinner tonight. Go chill out with the kids. You know, just like I'm gonna do dishes tonight. You know, you see her cooking or something, she's already gotten it started. Just be like, go sit down. I'm gonna clean up, like things to take the stress off.
Definitely
of their plate.
following through with that too. So like, don't be like, I'm gonna always to be the one to take out the trash.
Yeah.
And then let it pile up.
Or don't say you're gonna do something and then you just don't.
Okay. And would you say you would rather them showing you by doing and then instead of just saying I will do it?
Oh, talk is cheap. Yeah, it ain't done until you did it. Yeah. It don't mean nothing until it's done. Because once it's done, like I'd be like, oh, can you help me with this? And, you know, example, I was like, oh, can you help me do this? And he's like, yeah, we'll do it this weekend. I'm like, cool. The weekend flies by and then it's the next week. I'm like, oh, it's still just irking me because it's on my to-do list. And I'm like, no. And then it puts me in a pissy mood and I start getting mad about dumb stuff that doesn't even make sense.
Well, I would say today I definitely spoke to your love language because you were stressed out about looking for something online. She's looking for something, guys. We don't need to talk about what she's looking for.
I get overwhelmed with all the options and I'm like, I don't even know what I want.
And then I like zoned in. I was like, do you want that?
Yeah. And I was like, you're right. I do want that. I need to talk it through.
But I was just like, I'm good at this, move away.
Yeah. I just tend to be the type of person that gets overwhelmed with too many options, but I just need to know all my options.
Yeah.
It's a crazy cycle.
Okay, so
sorry if you're dating or married to somebody whose love language is acts of service.
So with acts of service, I would say avoid ignoring requests for help.
Yes, they ask for help. Usually these are people who want to do it all themselves too. So, you know, help them out.
We already kind of said, like, avoid not following through with things.
Yep. Being closed-minded and don't be, like, feeding into these gender-based stereotypes. Like, oh, the woman only cleans and
only changes the diapers.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Bullshit.
And do not view them as lazy or stressed out all the time.
I mean, we might be stressed out all the time, but God damn it, we ain't lazy just because we need your help with things.
So that's, okay, so let's go into words of affirmation, which is one that I don't understand.
This is an interesting one, and I feel like I verbalize things a lot to people I love and care about, so I'm pretty good at this one.
Good. I'm good at it. I'm not good at receiving it, I think is where I fall into.
I hear that.
I can compliment when I feel like it, but I'm also not one to just dish out a compliment either. Like, you have to really deserve a compliment from me.
Okay. I feel I understand what you mean by, like, I don't know if I'm good at accepting them. Like, I'll quickly, like, spin it around and just be like, but you're amazing. And
see,
you know.
and when somebody compliments me, I'll tell you 5 things that suck about me. If they're like, oh, your hair looks great, I'm like, well, actually, it really sucks, and let me tell you why.
Sometimes you're just like, thank you, and I love it. That's like when somebody's like, hey, I love those shoes. You're like, thanks. You're like, but wait, where did you get them?
Oh, no,
how much
I don't do that.
Sale?
Like, when people are like, today I got a compliment on my skirt, and I was like, Shein, it comes with a top, it does this, blah, 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 blah. Can't just accept a word of
Shout
affirmation.
out to your Johnny Cash shirt, by the way.
Target.
See? There she did. How much? How much?
17.
All right. It's doable for all
There
of us.
was a Beach Boys shirt that I really wanted, but they only had it in extra, extra small, and I can fit one boob into an extra, extra small, I'm sure, but that's about it.
You guys, none of us can go to concerts right now and rep our favorite bands, so go to Target. They have amazing concert tees.
All right.
Good band tees.
Okay. So with words of affirmation, compliments and positive comments are high on the priority list. With this love language, it's all about verbalizing the positive things in your partner.
So you can try, like, leaving encouraging notes, or like maybe even just little love notes in the morning, like, good morning, have a great day. I'll do that for Chris on time.
I know. As I say, you do that for Chris. I would say, like, creating a playlist of songs that remind you of them. That's my helpless romantic side coming out.
And speaking to their if you're like Bree or I, we are huge music buffs.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something Chris did when we first started dating?
What?
I might have mentioned it before, but he knew I loved the Beastie Boys, and this was back before we had Spotify and we could get all the songs we wanted.
Yeah.
He gave me like this MP3 CD, which was really neat because it was a CD that could hold more than 12 songs.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is every Beastie Boys CD, every Beastie Boys song ever made. And he gave me that CD. I was like, I fucking love this guy.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that was really
it's a service.
That was almost like a gift kind of thing too, but it was that was a lot of these little love languages put together kind of.
Yeah, and then I guess words of appreciation is another really good one.
Things to avoid, like with people that like words of affirmation, don't assume that they know how loved they are by you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Really just put it into words and express as much as you can.
And I would say avoid emotionally harsh words. Like, even if you're mad, you don't want to be like, well, you fucking bitch.
Yeah. Calling, name calling, all that lowbrow stuff, that will stick with them more than somebody else who just kind of brushes off. Like somebody that grew up in a family that was super sarcastic or whatever. Maybe they're easier with just like taking shit like that. But somebody that words of affirmation are important, that's going to be to watch what you say to them, because that's going to stick with them longer.
Exactly.
They're going to internalize it.
I'm not words of affirmation. I don't give a fuck, really. Like, compliments are nice, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
So if somebody, like, if I'm fighting with somebody and they call me a bitch, I'd probably be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
In the end of the day,
those are going to roll off your shoulder.
That's going to roll off my shoulder. I'm not going to carry that with me.
But somebody else that is, you know, the things that you say to them are really going to stick to them.
Yeah.
So be careful.
And definitely recognize their efforts. So if you don't recognize and appreciate their efforts verbally, that's going to be a problem. If you're not like, man, this dinner was delicious. How did you learn to make vodka sauce this way?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
I've been craving pasta.
Yeah. With Chris came out here in the middle of the day and put out this, he put up this fan and there was a lot to it. And I was like, oh, like that's pretty awesome. Like I'm proud of you coming out there and doing it. And just, you know, just little things that you can notice that they're doing. Like that shit ain't easy. Could you do it? No. Compliment them. Say thanks.
And then you really want to avoid viewing them as somebody with lack of confidence, because they have confidence.
That's right.
Want you to fluff their feathers a little bit more.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's a very good point.
Next one, quality time. You want to get into that one? Because this is Chris's.
Like a commercial.
Like a commercial. Take one.
Like a commercial. Hey! Recorded for the very first time.
We know how to speak.
We promise we do this every single week. You guys, big shout out to our partners at Like a Kitten, who want to help you explore your sexuality and lust for pleasure with their subscription and standalone sex toy boxes.
If you haven't checked out likeakitten.com, swing by the website and enjoy all their incredible products and drop the code KEEPERS20 at checkout.
Hell yeah. Their summer box was rockin', and the fall box is right around the corner.
But the kittens are putting together something magical to hit all the pleasure spots. And yes, we are talking about vibrators.
Yeah. And guess what? They're rolling out a tease for this month's giveaway.
Yes. Someone is getting a full-sized sensual treat to tackle any and all orgasms.
Oh, yes. If you want to get spoiled with a nice vibe and some cool keeping it casual merch, all you got to do, rate and review.
Head over to Apple Podcasts, drop a 5-star rating, and make sure to review too. Winners are drawn the last Wednesday of every month.
That's right. And don't forget to check out likeakitten.com and maybe pick out a box for that cool babe in your life who deserves a fun package in the mail to boost her mood.
And by mood, we mean orgasm.
That's right.
Likeakitten.com and drop the code KEEPERS20 at checkout for 20% off.
This is definitely Chris's. So quality time, it could be like watching a movie, taking a ride on the motorcycle, engaged in focused, no phone conversation. So people whose love language is quality time want to spend time with you and really your undivided attention. Remember when we talked before and it was like, these are things we've learned researching this a little more, is like, I was like, okay, well maybe if we're watching TV together and I don't really want to be watching it, I could just be on my phone or something. That's not quality time.
That's not quality time. And to me, that's fine because like to me, if I'm reading a book and he's playing a video game, that's still us, you know, spending time together. Where people whose love language is quality time, they want you to be mentally present when you are with your partner.
Yep, I do. That big lesson learned there. You don't realize how much it means to them for you to be watching that stupid movie with them versus on your phone, even though you're next to them.
Or
you know?
playing the video game with them. Yep.
I still haven't played the video game with him. I need to.
Tisk tisk. Monique did it and she posted about it.
Oh, God, I got to get on that.
So you also want to try making plans to try to do something new with your partner. Like, oh, I mean, obviously right now, whatever. Things are a little weird.
Yeah.
But this new Asian Mexican fusion restaurant just opened up down the street. Let's go there Friday night.
Let's get a babysitter and do it. You know, because people that quality time is their key. They're not always the most spontaneous about making quality time happen.
No,
i.e. Chris. But I'm really good at being like, hey, I've got a surprise. We're gonna do this. I used to surprise him all the time and be like, we're gonna do this or this. Bree's like, I hate surprises. Just give me that look.
I know. I'm just like, wow. I'm like sitting here thinking like, well, you got a surprise surprise him again.
Yeah. I took him.
Surprise him with a trip to Venice Beach.
Oh, yes, we need to escape to the beach. But I remember I took him to like Korn and stupid concerts and stuff. I was like, okay, he's like, okay, we're at the Palms, we're at the Pearl. I know we're going to see a concert. But just really setting aside time, especially when, whether you have kids or not, I mean, it can get mundane and you have to make those pre-arrangements, so that's really special because I know that there's no distractions.
And then you want to create small moments to connect too, like even if it's just like, I'm gonna go give you a big hug because the kids are going crazy and blah 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 blah. Let me just pay attention to you for 30 seconds in the kitchen real quick.
That's a good point. See, sometimes we forget that everything has to be a grand gesture, but it's the littlest things that lead up to these really strong relationships, it's those little things. So don't forget to do that. But I think just uninterrupted phone time. Phones are so distracting. They're always next to us. We're always just quickly picking up, checking a text, and before you know it, we're browsing Instagram.
Yep.
It just sucks us in. So if you could even say, hey, from when you get home from work from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we put our phones down and it's just family time or one-on-one time or whatever. It's just really guaranteeing that there'll be no distractions because that's
good.
I read something that was like it's hard for couples to even like focus on each other like 12 minutes a day.
Jesus.
Like these married couples can't even find 12 minutes a day to like actually sit down and talk and communicate with no distraction. And I was like, that is fucking true.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to be intentional about it.
So you want to avoid being distracted when you're with them.
Making sure that you aren't viewing them as needy as well.
Ooh, yeah, don't do that. Because they don't need you. They're not being needy.
No.
This is just a way to speak to their love language. There's a difference between needy and wanting quality time.
That's right.
And you want to avoid going long stretches without making time to connect. Vice email, he said his was quality time, so he needs this connection.
And she's probably extremely distracted with 3 kids.
Three kids, oh God.
I guarantee you she's got to be extremely intentional about setting that time. It's not that she doesn't love you or care about you, but that's why he's doing a lot of research and listening to podcasts, and good for you, dude. Like, seriously.
I love that.
Just taking that extra step.
My dad has always been like that in my parents' marriage, where my mom's always just been like, whatever.
Really?
Not whatever. Like, I don't want to say it that way, but my dad has always been the initiator. Like, there's something disconnecting us, so let's figure out how to fix this.
That's I guess, my father's the opposite. He's the strong, silent, he's the chief, like he's just
but my dad's a very
to the point,
very quiet guy.
Yeah.
He is. My dad's a very romantic man.
Your dad is he has a very sensitive and in tune heart. Like, he's always like, how are you? What's going on?
Yeah.
Or, he's different. So with my father, that's somebody like Chris, he's more quiet and just, there's a lot of assuming going on.
Yeah.
I assume what he's thinking or feeling because I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So I get that. But back to his love language of his wife is gifts. I think the biggest thing that we realize is that it's not all about material things. It's about sentimental stuff, right?
Yeah, which was something because like MJ and I always just kind of blow off gifts. We're like, yeah, that's not ours. We don't fucking care. I don't care about gifts.
Yeah, I'd be like, who wants presents all the time? I've got time for that. That's exhausting.
It sounds exhausting.
But it's more sentimental moments.
Yeah, people whose love language is gifts appreciate the gesture because it means their partner were thinking of them. Whatever you give to them with love. So it's like somebody who's loves gifts. Like, I have a friend whose love language is gifts, and anytime I go to California, there's a very specific candy she likes, and I just always think to pick it up for her. And to her, like, that's a very big gesture. But I'm like, it's just whatever. It's not even a big thing. So to me, I thought gifts was like, I can buy my own shit. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is.
Yeah.
It's just showing that somebody was thinking of you.
I think I read a really cute example, and he was talking about how his father was the one that he knew his mother's love language was gifts, and he had found something one day, found it in a park, and it was like this cute little knick-knack thing. And when he brought it home, he gave it to his mother, and she just started crying. She was so touched by it. And he said even after he passed away, she still kept it.
Aww.
So it's like, it's not so much the materialistic stuff.
Yeah.
It's just about those little sentimental things.
So try giving a thoughtful gift. Like, you and your partner, the first date you went on was you went and saw Muse together. You keep the ticket. You buy the album of the tour you saw, and you keep the ticket, and you make a little collage.
Yeah.
Like, you put the ticket and the album together, and you give it to them like that.
Just take note if she's talking about like, oh God, I really need a pedicure. Oh man, I love those shoes, or I love going to the store. Like, take note, get her a gift certificate. Like, be like, hey babe, here, why don't you go do something nice for yourself?
Yeah.
If she talks about something she wants or wants to do, hook it up.
Yeah, and then then give a small token of just something tiny when they don't feel their best. So she likes flowers, or I was going to say candy, a very specific, she only eats Snicker bars.
Yeah.
Or he, but I'm using she as an example because this is what we're speaking to her love language. She only eats Snicker bars. And she's been on a diet and whatever, and she's just been feeling icky and blah. Bring home a Snickers and say, hey, you know what? You deserve this.
Yeah, and you look gorgeous.
And you're beautiful.
Have your Snickers jump back on your salad game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just remember, it's not about expensive things, but sentimental goes a long way.
So you want gifts that symbolize moments, experiences, or feelings. And then you want to avoid thinking your partner's materialistic, which we kind of said at the beginning of this, but like this is something.
I think that's the thing we all think of when we think of this, unless we are that type of person that likes that. But absolutely do not forget special occasions. Birthdays, anniversaries, holidays where gifts are expected. Like, you better be on that.
And you're like, okay, so I watch Parks and Rec constantly. And the main character, Amy Poehler's character, Leslie Knope, she creates anniversaries for everything.
Yeah.
She'll be like, today's breakfast day, because it's the first day, it's the anniversary of the first day we ever ate breakfast together. So, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, her love language is definitely gifts, because she always gives gifts, and then they expect to, she, like, always says, like, oh, no, you don't have to get me anything, but secretly wants something. So they all kind of joke about it, and she'll, like, give calendars to her friends of, like, anniversaries of all their stuff. Okay, so somebody whose love language is gifts, if they're, like, this is an extreme version of it, but stuff like that means a lot to them, especially if it's, like, they know this is the anniversary of the first time you guys ever went to the lake together.
Yes.
Buy her some floaties and say, hey,
oh God,
today's the anniversary of the time.
Fuck that. Amp it up. Book some jet skis and take the day.
Oh, God. Yeah, and then you also want to avoid giving gifts that don't come from love, and it makes you feel like you only did it for the task.
Ugh, like, oh, it's Valentine's Day. I guess I have to get her something. You better make it sentimental.
Here's some Russell Stovers that I found at Walmart, and it's the last box. Like,
the
they don't
Walgreens.
Walgreens, yeah.
You're going to have to go the extra mile to do the special gifts, and doesn't have to be super expensive, but sentimental. Just remember the sentimentalness.
Or remember to listen to what they say. That's something I did with my ex a lot, which is funny because I don't think I give a shit about love languages like that, like gifts. But I would listen to him, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, I really like watches. And so I'd buy him a nice watch for, Christmas.
You did. You honed in on things he liked. And I will say, if you're just still like, oh, fuck, I don't know what my partner's love language is, look at the way they spoil you. Yeah. And maybe it's not something that really gets you that much, but they just keep doing it all the time. And it's something special that they seem to always do for you. And you don't really, that's what they want. Give that back to them. Yep. That's a good one. That is a
very good point, because I do show my affections through touch, like a back massage, a little neck rub, anything like that. Yep. That is how I show my affection.
Or something Chris always does. And I guess I wake up and I'm like either getting my meditation on and the kids are up, or I'm just right up with the kids, so I don't have time to be sending texts, but he sends me a text every morning. Am I doing that for him? Yeah. So sometimes if I can get up and beat him to that, I'll do it. So I'm sure that really makes his day. But it's something that he makes a point to do every day. But if he didn't, I'd be like, what's going on? You'd
be like, are you mad at me?
Yeah. What the fuck's going on? But it's not something I go out of my way to do for him, Yeah. So things we can learn from our partners is the way they treat us.
Well, then start writing him notes in his lunch.
Yeah, surprise notes. I've done that. Yeah, I do that too.
Make that on regular. Okay. But anyways, y'all, I got to get out of here because I need to go find her a wedding dress.
Okay,
I'll tell you more next week.
What a fucking cliffhanger. Okay, Bree's getting a wedding dress. I'm going to do some yoga because my pre-workout is kicking in.
Until next time.
And thank you to our listener for writing in.
Bye.
Oh, good times. We hope you related.
If so, let us feature you. Email us at feedback@keepingitcasualpodcast.com, or show you're a keeper on Facebook. Like the Keeping It Casual page and join the group.
Yes, bonus. If you rate and review on Apple Podcasts, you get into our monthly Keeping It Casual swag giveaway. It's the last Wednesday of every month.
More hookups when you share us on your Instagram stories at Keeping It Casual Podcast.
That's right. Find me anywhere socially at MJ Radio Diva.
And I'm everywhere at Bree Mixed, BreeMixed. Keep it casual.
Bye.